Rogue traders now. We have more tech in our houses than we can possibly use. It would take a lifetime just to read the manuals for the gizmos and gadgets we've accumulated over the years. And if they go wrong, well, no point trying to fix it yourself. You have to rely on someone else. But perhaps not our rogues today. They lie, they cheat, and hit repeat. And if you don't like what they're doing with your tech, don't worry. You may never see it again.
This terrifying vision of the future is the scariest image of my childhood. It still sends shivers.
That's the thing about tech, though, isn't it? It creeps up on you. It lets you down. It goes wrong. It leaves you staring into its one black, sightless eye, screaming for mercy. Even worse, you could end up calling a helpline. Oh, the horror. The horror.
And if you are calling for help, you might want to steer clear of this lot. Elite Phones and Computers Limited, who say they'll repair your phones, computers and games consoles. If you've dropped a mobile down the loo or corrupted a hard drive, shops like theirs at 190A Church Street, Eccles in Manchester are supposed to help you put things right. But it's not just a local shop. It's a national business, and they've got dozens of website names to get your custom. The company's director is Azia Shafiq, but we believe this guy, Mohammed Patel, is one of their big game players too.
You see, we're in the future now. Things don't look like what they should. It's scary. Unless I'm just being a paranoid android, which is not impossible.
But these three certainly aren't. They trusted Elite Phones and Computers with their tech, and now, like an overheating disk drive, they're buzzing and fuming while keeping it all in perspective, if you see what I mean. Meet Harry, who had a problem with his games console.
Tell me about your tech. What was it that had gone wrong?
My PS4 had got broken because I'd snapped the HDMI port at the back, so I'd got it sent off. And I'd looked at some of the reviews online and saw people sending the HDMI to be fixed. And then suddenly, out of the blue, the motherboard's broken as well. So I preemptively told them that I didn't need anything else fixed. And unfortunately, an hour later, he told me that the motherboard needed fixing as well.
Harry's original quote was £71.99, including postage and packing. Elite now wanted £191.99 and told him unless he coughed up for the mysterious new fault on the motherboard, the PlayStation wouldn't work.
I couldn't do that. So, unfortunately, he's still got the PS4 at the moment.
So you're completely without a PS4?
The annoying thing is, I think I've left my FIFA disc in there.
Hey, Willie, what happened?
I started having issues with my PlayStation control pad. It's not just myself that plays the games, but the whole family watch movies and things, so it needed to be fixed.
Knowing that the problem was in the console and not the control pad itself, Willie sent the whole thing to Elite.
They said they had diagnosed it and the system was overheating. They then advised me that the charge would be £8 to £9.99. Certainly wasn't overheating when I had it. After getting nowhere, I just eventually gave up with it, and they were like, oh, that's fine, so we get to keep your PlayStation. I was fuming, to say the least.
2 PlayStation jobs, 2 customers left without a console when they refused to pay for spurious extra repairs. And Elite are squeezing the most out of phone fixes too.
Hello, Emily.
Hi.
Tell me, what was it that you needed fixing?
I had it in my pocket and it fell in the bath and it got water damage. Had a lot of photos on, so I wanted to get it fixed ASAP.
Emily sent off her phone for what she understood to be a £17 no-obligation diagnosis and quote. A few days later, Elite said they'd already completed a £144 repair, which she had to pay for. Get out of town.
So I said, I'm not paying it. I want my phone back. And they said that they had the right to just fix it without me okaying the price.
What have you done? Have you got the phone?
In the end, I sent the money, but I think it was 4 months in total that they had my phone.
And it's a big old problem. Salford City Council have received more than 800 complaints about Elite Phones and Computers in the last 5 years. The Advertising Standards Authority have also ruled against them, not once, not twice, but thrice. That's 3 times. Most recently for having a website that falsely claimed they were an official Motorola repair centre. They're not. Naughty.
What do you think of the service you've got from them, the way you've been dealt with?
I think it's absolutely abysmal.
That company themselves is a shambles.
They just were like, horrible to deal with. I would never recommend them.
I'll be bleeping annoyed as well. It's really hard to live without your tech. For instance, my phone's run out of battery, and I have no idea how I'm going to get home. Oh, here we go. Excuse me, I couldn't just borrow your phone for a second, could I? Stop it, it's really scary. There's loads of kids watching. They really enjoy Rogue Traders. Take it off!
It's time for Elite phones and computers to inspect our gadgets. Switch on and power up.
I've just got some trouble with the phone that I've smashed the screen of.
Yes, the game is on. Elite phones and computers of Eccles, the Silicon Valley of Greater Manchester. It's not to be confused with other companies which may have similar or the same names, of which there are many around the country. Don't do that. We need to take off the lid and peer into the gubbins to find out who's the brains of the operation. Of PC, mice and men in roughly 10. Elite phones and computers of Eccles in Greater Manchester have a novel approach to your tech. We've heard they make up a fake job, and if you don't like it, they keep your stuff for forever. Well, forever is a long time and life is short. So we're going to make like a silicon chip and hurry up a bit.
Yes, there's no time to waste, as we know that customers with broken gear are being failed on a daily basis. It's time to test them ourselves. Enter unfortunate businessman Terry Brailsford, a.k.a. team member Tom. He's immersed himself in the character.
I've got to talk about this report, man. It's just, it's not acceptable.
Oh no! What's this? You always were a butterfingers, Terry Brailsford. Damage. And checking out the damage is digital forensic consultant Stephen Hazlitt, a man who possibly knows more about your phones and computers than the Chinese government.
From the test that I've carried out on the phone, it appears that the damage is just on the top layer of glass. I don't see any damage to the second layer, which is the LED underneath.
There you have it, one specific but superficial problem which needs repairing. It's just the top layer of glass. But will Elite agree?
Oh, yeah, you're right. Yeah, I've just got some trouble with the phone that I've smashed the screen of.
So you want the screen fixing, yeah?
Yeah.
What's your name?
It's Terry Brailsford.
My price is $69.99.
And we agree. They also say they'll fix your laptops and games consoles, good and proper. So, time to set an easy-to-fix fault on this otherwise working laptop, as Stephen takes his scissors to our disk drive.
So I'm going to be a little bit naughty. Put a little nick in there. In layman's terms, it's knackered.
And we ask tech expert Adrian Mars to play hell with our perfectly good PlayStation.
I've used what in trade we technically call a little pokey thing to bend the pins, the connectors on the HDMI port, which is how it supplies video to the telly.
Neither of the faults should be expensive or complicated to fix. Most high street repair shops would do either of them for under 50 quid. We book in our laptop first.
Thank you for calling Eccles Phones and Computers.
Yeah, it'd be about £60.
£60 for a new disk drive.
£20 to collect and return, so make it 80.
They also quote us £49.99, including collection and return for the HDMI repair to our PlayStation, so we pop both in the post. While they're looking at our laptop and games console, Terry Brailsford gets the message that our phone is ready.
Hi, yeah, you're right. I'm just here to collect a phone for Terry Brailsford. There you go. Thank you. Bye.
We get the mobile back into Stephen's capable hands, and at first glance, everything seems in order.
I can see that the screen looks relatively good, but we'll pop it open. As the LCDs come apart. When I tried to disassemble the device, it fell apart in my hands. It appears that they have replaced the entire LCD unit, so that's the LCD and the glass. Compared against the original part, you can clearly feel that there is a difference in quality. These all come from China.
No surprise charges, but our whole new screen unit is a cheap copy rather than, as they naughtily advertise, a high-quality, genuine part. So what do you make of it, Stephen?
The quality of the repair, I would say, is average to poor. Why was there glue seeping out of the side of the screen? And how long will this screen actually last?
So, first job, we're not impressed. But of course, it doesn't end there, does it? Now, long-term fans of the show will remember this. It's the benefit of the doubt card. It's only fair. Let's see how they've got on with our PlayStation and its dodgy HDMI port. Elite's repair team have got some bad news about our PlayStation. It's got one of those mysterious extra faults, but they will only speak to us through their online chat room. I wonder what it looks like at their end. Something like this?
We've found out that your old broken port damaged a chip on the motherboard. Without the chip replacement, console won't work properly. We can replace the chip for additional £40. This job requires micro-soldering under the microscope. Please advise.
£90 instead of 50. That's £107.99, including VAT, just off the top of my head. Well, I suppose we'd better pay up, you know, just to check that they actually do something. With Elite's mysterious extra repair costs paid, they send our device back.
Right, the PlayStation's arrived. Yeah. They have fixed the problem. They put a new connector on for us.
It is at least repaired. But hang on, what about the extra £40 we paid for that crucial micro-soldering on the motherboard?
There's no sign of them having done that. Every one of the chips are untouched. It's work we didn't need and they haven't done.
They've taken credit for something they didn't do. Who would do that? John Terry. We've got a repaired PlayStation, but we've also got a hole in our wallet for imaginary work. What about our laptop? Well, 2 whole weeks after sending it in, we receive a very intriguing message from Elite Phones and Computers.
To be able to repair it, we need to solder 2 new chips on the motherboard. This repair requires micro-soldering under the microscope. We can do the additional repair for £50. Please advise.
What is it with these guys and motherboards? It's almost as though they know that no one's going to check, and so they're just trying it on. They want another £50 on top of the original £80. Well, we're not having that. So we refuse and insist on only paying for the disk drive, and with VAT included, that £80 becomes £96. And 3 weeks after Elite received the machine, they send it back to us with a warning.
There will still be issues with the disk drive, as the chip on the motherboard needs to be replaced. Thank you.
Incredibly, we receive a perfectly functioning laptop, confirming that what Elite said about the motherboard was made up to try and get more money out of us. Oh, come on! You've had 3 chances to show that you aren't ripping people off. Most rogues only get the benefit of the doubt card once. Elite Phones and Computers, you leave me with no choice. To Manchester, which conveniently is where we do the show.
Well, technically speaking, Elite Phones and Computers have had a shocker. 3 devices, 3 dodgy jobs, 3 strikes, you're out, mate. Come back in part 3 to see them brought back to virtual reality. Elite Phones and Computers Limited of Eccles, Greater Manchester, not to be confused with companies of any other similar names, have been terrorising the nation with their robo-ransom. Made-up problems, made-up repairs, but costing people real money. I've had enough. It's time to hit Control-Alt-Delete on Elite.
We spoke to 3 of the hundreds of unhappy customers of Elite Phones and Computers. After the expected cost of their repairs skyrocketed, they found their devices held hostage.
So I said, I'm not paying it, I want my phone back, but I think it was 4 months in total that they had my phone.
When we gave them our stuff, they messed us about as well, and twice made up additional work which didn't need doing.
They claimed to have replaced a chip. There's no sign of them having done that.
So we decided it was time to say hello to Mo, who we believe is a key player in the game.
Red sky in the morning, rogue's warning, because we are on our way to see Mohammed Patel of EPAC, Elite Phones and Computers, as we've come to know it, with a simple message. When you keep people's tech, their lives are a wreck. Simple, not grammatical.
We know that our Mo walks to his shop in the morning, so we park and wait to intercept him.
It's just over there.
I love these early mornings, but it does mean I miss my workout.
Spotted.
Right on cue.
Mohammed Patel, Matt Allright, BBC Rogue Traders. Can you tell me why it is that your company makes up work and then when people refuse to pay for the extra work that wasn't necessary in the first place, you just keep their stuff, you keep their tech? Why does that happen? Mohammed? You're jogging now, good. What happens to it then, Mohammed? What's that? Is that a little shoulder budge? Did you give me a little shoulder budge there, did you? How long do you want to go for? What's your typical distance? Half mile? What should you go for? 10K? So why do you keep their stuff, Mohammed? Why do you make up work that's not necessary on their stuff? You make up that you need to fix the motherboard, and the motherboard doesn't need fixing. Left, straight ahead. Okay, let's keep going. Woo! Very good.
We do not tire in the pursuit of justice, but cameras are heavy, so we pass the baton to camera 2.
You're in a heart rate monitor. I wish I was.
Nearly half a mile into the least effective getaway of all time, Mohammed hasn't got answers for me, so he decides to use one of his lifelines and phone a friend.
Okay, good stuff.
Shut the door, please.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Shut the door, please.
Yeah, go for it.
Shut the door, please. I'm making a phone call.
Go for it.
So shut the door, please.
Okay. Sometimes it's the only way to get the message through. It's by making someone stay in a phone box for 10 minutes. Make him think about what he's done. It's a bit urine-y.
But rather than seeing the error of his ways, Mohammed appears to be concerned with more pressing matters.
Okay, knock upstairs. Knock upstairs. Yeah, I'll quickly knock. Yeah, just knock. Please wake them up and searching.
I wonder what that was all about. 10 minutes later, he's still in there.
There we are, Mohammed Patel of Elite Phones and Computers, going under a lot of different names. So if you're going to send your stuff off to someone, stuff that you might care about, make sure that you know who it is and who it isn't. Otherwise, you could get the runaround. Well, since trying to talk to Mohammed in a stinky phone box with no joy, we've heard back from end-of-level boss Azia Shafiq. She says that tech repair can be complicated, and with the very high volume that they get in, prices can vary from what's first offered. And despite what we've seen, they say they never charge customers for additional work without approval. We've seen Mohammed Patel opening up her shop on a number of occasions, but she says he has nothing to do with her business.